In this video, I will discuss the solution of one-dimensional heat equation and its problems. Consider the heat equation dou u by dou t equal to c square dou square u by dou x square. In order to find the solution of this, we are going to use the method of separation of variables. So here u is a function of independent variables x and t. So let us take the product u equal to capital X into capital T as the solution, where capital X is a function of small x alone and capital T is a function of small t alone. Now let us differentiate u equal to capital X into capital T with respect to t once and with respect to x twice, and then substitute in this equation. So we get dou u by dou t is x into t dash, because here capital X is a constant, because here capital X is a function of small x. Now similarly find dou square u by dou x square, which is x double dash capital T, where capital T is a constant because capital T is a function of small t alone. Now after substituting, you get an equation in this way. Make sure you put the derivatives in the numerator when you are going to rearrange this equation in order to separate the variables. See, the derivatives are in the numerators, and then separate the variables. So here left hand side is a function of small x and the right hand side is a function of small t, because capital X is a function of small x and capital T is a function of small t. But both the ratios are equal. Now this is happening only when both the sides is equal to a constant. So we can equate the ratio to a constant and make use of the ratios separately to get these two equations. Now consider these equations. We are going to solve these equations to find out the solutions of capital X and capital T. Now here we have a second order differential equation, but here we have a first order differential equation. Now we find a solution of capital X here and we find the solution of capital T here, and it is a homogeneous differential equation because the right hand side is 0. Here also it is a homogeneous differential equation, and these equations with constant coefficients can be solved by finding out the auxiliary equation and solving the roots. The auxiliary equations are m square minus k equal to 0 and m minus k c square equal to 0. Now upon solving these equations by considering different values of k, that is when k is positive, 0 and negative, we get the roots. Consider k as positive, so take k as p square. P square is always positive, so k equal to p square is substituted in the auxiliary equations, and then we get these equations. Upon solving the roots, we get plus or minus p and p square c square. Now these are the roots for writing the complementary function of capital X, and this is the root for writing the complementary function of capital T. You know, for homogeneous differential equation, complementary function is the solution. Now the solution is u equal to capital X into capital T. You can substitute capital X and capital T here, you get this as a solution. But this cannot be treated as a solution because here u is nothing but a temperature function. So as time increases, you may notice here temperature also increases, but this is a contradiction because we know as time increases the temperature actually decreases. So this cannot be considered as a solution of a heat equation. Now consider the second case when k is negative, that is k is equal to minus p square. Substitute the value of k in these auxiliary equations, and then solving further, you get plus or minus pi minus p square c square. Now these are the roots for writing the complementary function of capital X, and this is the root for writing the complementary function of capital T. Now upon writing the complementary function, and since it is a homogeneous equation, we get c1 cos px plus c2 sin px is the complementary function of capital X. c3 e raised to minus p square c square t is the complementary function of capital T. Substituting in this solution, we get this as a equation. Now similarly, consider when k is 0, you get the roots as 0, 0 and m equal to 0. So we can write capital X and capital T. This is how we get. But here it is not depending on the variable T. And we know that the temperature function depends on both X and the time variable T. So this also cannot be the solution of the heat equation. Thus, we can finally conclude that U equal to capital X into capital T, that is case 2, is the solution of heat equation. Now, instead of C3, you can write C1 and C3 as another constant C1, C2, C3 as another constant C2. This will be the general solution of heat equation, which corresponds to the negative value of K. Please make sure while obtaining the solution of heat equation, we haven't even considered the boundary conditions as well as initial conditions. Now, let us solve problems on one-dimensional heat equation. A rod of length L with insulated sides is initially at a uniform temperature U0. Its ends are suddenly cooled to 0 degree and then kept at that temperature. Find the temperature function U of x, t. Now consider a rod. Now name that rod as OA. It is of length L. You can write the vertices as 0, 0. Since the length of the rod is L, we can write it as L, 0. Now step 1. As we have discussed while solving the heat wave equation problems, we are solving this particular problem considering 5 steps. In our first step, we are going to write down the given data as well as the solution to begin with. So here the boundary conditions are U of 0, t, that is when x is 0, U is also 0. U of L, t, that is when x is L, U is also 0. The boundary conditions are 0 because the ends of the rods are cooled at 0 degree Celsius and kept at that temperature throughout. The initial conditions are, initially the rod is at uniform temperature U0. So we can write when T is 0, U is U0. The temperature function satisfies the differential equation, which is a heat equation. The solution of one-dimensional heat equation without substituting the conditions is equation 1. Now in step 2, we are going to substitute the boundary conditions and then evaluating the constants. So let us substitute the first boundary condition, that is put x equal to 0 and u equal to 0 in equation 1. This is our equation 1. And then upon solving, you get C1 into e raised to minus p square c square t. Here make sure C1 and C2 cannot be simultaneously 0. And you know that e raised to minus p square c square t is not always 0 for any time t. So this is happening only when C1 is 0. Now substitute C1 equal to 0 in this equation. Upon substituting in this equation, you get another newly found equation, call it as equation number 2. Now here we have to solve another constant by substituting the second boundary condition. After substituting, put x as L and u as 0 in newly found equation. You will get C2 sin PL e raised to minus p square c square t, and you know this is not always true. This cannot be true 0 always, and C2 cannot be 0 because C1 and C2 cannot be simultaneously 0. Therefore sin PL must be 0, and which is nothing but sin n pi, where n is 1, 2, 3 etc. Comparing, we get PL equal to n pi and P is n pi by L, where n is 1, 2, 3, etc. Now substituting this in our newly obtained solution equation 2, we get this solution. Now you know that the value of n keeps on changing. So this is a particular solution of heat equation. That means before adding you can replace this constant C2 by Bn, because we have the value of n as 1, 2, 3, etc. Therefore the constant can be replaced by Bn, and upon adding all those solutions we get a general solution. Now this is the general solution. We have finished our step 2 by substituting the boundary conditions, and then in step 3 we are going to substitute the non-zero conditions, that is initial condition. Put T as 0 and U as U0 in our newly obtained equation. This is our newly obtained equation. After substituting, you will be arriving at this equation. So U0 is sigma n equal to 1 to infinity Bn sin n pi x by L, which is nothing but a half range Fourier sine series for the function U0. And you can compare these two equations. So U0 is your f of x, and then Bn and sin n pi x by L both are same. So Bn can be calculated using the half range Fourier sine series coefficient formula. Now in our step 4 we are going to evaluate the coefficient Bn. Here you can substitute f of x as U0, and then since U0 is a constant, you can integrate only sin n pi x by L, which is minus cos n pi x by L divided by the coefficient of x. Now apply the limits and then evaluate this further. So you will get 1 minus cos n pi 2 into U0 divided by n pi. But you know cos n pi is nothing but minus 1 raised to n. So after substituting this you get this equation. But when n is even and when n is odd, this square bracket has two values. When n is even number, the square bracket is 0. When n is odd number, the expression inside the square bracket is 2. So when n is an even number, Bn becomes 0. When n is an odd number, this expression inside the square bracket value is 2. So 2 into 2 is 4. So you get 4 U0 by n pi, and L gets cancelled. Now in step 5 we are going to substitute in the newly obtained solution. This is our equation 3. Here we are going to substitute Bn. Now when you are substituting, we have to write n as 1, 3, 5, etc. because this equation survives only when n is an odd number. Otherwise the values are 0 for n as even numbers. Now if you want to retain the value of n as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., that means you should replace n as an odd expression. So here you can do that by replacing n as 2n minus 1, which is an odd number, even if you are taking n as 1, 2, 3, etc. So wherever you have n, you can replace it as 2n minus 1. Thus we get our answer, and you can solve these questions yourselves. I hope you have understood. Thank you.